Hello everyone, welcome back to more Logic Bombs. Can't stay away. What? No algebra? How am I supposed to solve this puzzle? Okay. I got so used to X's and Y's and now you did I click the wrong button? No? Alright. So where do I start then? Seems like assigning mines to monsters is important. Probably. But can I do that yet? Maybe you can do kind of like you can collapse it to one of two possible states, surely. So if this one went here, this one would have to go here, which means this one would go here, which means this one would go here, right? Conversely, if you went here, this would go up, this would go across, this would go across. So yes, there's two possibilities. Okay. So what? Ah, okay, but I'm not going to start with assigning these. I'm going to look at this column and this row and observe that in each of them, I can only place two more non-walls, and yet I need two more non-walls in order to get a monster to a mine. And in this row, a monster must get to a mine. This mine and one of the monsters. Likewise, in this column, a mine must get to a monster. And so the two non-walls in this column have to be either these two or these two. So there are walls like so, which gives me the edge of the puzzle at least. Now this 7 is done. And now we are looking... Wait. Yeah, that's right. Now we're looking great. Oh my god. You gotta go that way. And now I have these... Oops. These monsters all sorted. Well, this can't be... Well, no. There's one more wall. It can't be this. That much we can say for sure. But then it could be either of these two, I think. This row is done. Oh, this column should be done as well. And this row? Yes. And this column. And now what? This row. And this column. Oh, I can do something similar in this area that I did up here, right? This can't be the last wall, right? So this row is done. Which means this column is done. Which means this row is done. This has to get out here, finishing the row. This column's done. This column needs a wall. This is done. And the column's done. Nice and easy. Once I saw that What was the break-in again? It was this 5 row and this 5 column. Well, one of these must be 2 and the other is 0, clearly. Okay, that seems like either one would be possible with what's currently here. What am I... What? Where do I start? Like, if X were 2, I could have this guy blow up these 2, this guy blow up these 2, this guy these 2, this guy these 2, no problem. If Y were 2, it would be much larger explosions. Like, Y would have to go all the way like this, and all the way like this. But I don't see why that's impossible. And then inside we could have these. Yeah, I mean, I guess if Y were 2, we'd be very constrained with how we could do things. We'd have so many spaces taken up that couldn't be walls, right? I want to see what it looks like if Y is 2, because I think we end up with maybe some problems. Well, actually, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? All the 2 rows are perfectly filled in. I just need one more here and the puzzle's over. Ah, this doesn't work. Because this space, all these little spaces where the crosses end up having to go, can't escape. I see. So that's why X has to be 2 and not Y. When you do this, you don't have to make those little plus shapes in the middle. So how could I see this in a more abstract way than just trying out what if Y is 2 and seeing it doesn't work? I mean, I did sort of see. I said, well, if Y is 2, there's going to be a lot of spaces that aren't walls, which caused more constraints in a way, and those constraints led to having to make those little closed-in coffins. But that's not exactly convincing. I don't know. I think I'll just be satisfied with solving the puzzle for now. I mean, not that it's totally solved, but I think I have the main ideas out of the way, hopefully. because so many of the rows and columns are given already. Uh-oh, wait a minute. If y is 0, how come this column is screwed? I needed these two. I needed this. Okay, I must have done something wrong, obviously, since the puzzle's broken. But I think x being 2, but I don't think that was the problem. You have to do that, and then this. You have to do that, and then this, and this, and this. This x has to go in. Now, these are done. And you have to do this. Ah, this row, this column isn't finished, and I think I marked it in as though it were. If only you were in bright red and screaming at me when it was finished, I wouldn't have made that mistake. Oops, likewise here, this is not done. The 1 in this column has to stop y from getting here, so it's not one of these, and it can't be here either for the same reason in this row. This row is done. So is this column. There we go. Well, x is 2, y is 1 would make the most sense, but x could be 0 and y could be 2. Probably that's possible anyway. X could be 4. Y could be 0. These two lines could just be on a straight shot to everywhere, actually. So just let's do a little bit of math here. 2x plus 4y is 8. Solve for x. 2x equals 8 minus 4y. Divide the whole thing by 2. X is 4 minus 2y. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. If y were 0, x could be 4. If y were 1, x could be 2. And if y were 2, x could be 0. That all seems possible. So, I mean, there's one wall in this row. Ah, yes. There's only one wall in this row. So, no matter where I put it, these monsters are both blown up by a Y, right? So Y is at least 1. And the same is true down here. These are each serviced by a Y, not an X. So Y is at least 1, which means X is at most 2. Okay, sure. Oh, and also that specifically X can't get this, can it? Because we said everything on the edge, everything on the top and bottom edge is gotten to by a Y in the corner. So this X can't touch that. Aha, and now we can do this, and we can see that Y is in fact 2. Because it's getting this one and... well, because these 4 monsters are gotten by these 2 Ys, no matter where I put the wall. If I put it here, I think I'd have a problem. Yeah, I couldn't make these, so we can do that. And then I'm gonna, I think, have to do the same thing up here, but I guess maybe not. Maybe, yeah, I am, right? Because this has to go up now. It can't go down. Am I wrong? No. Because I proved that both of these guys were reached by the Y in the corner. And I also knew both of these were reached by a guy in the corner. Okay, yeah, so the Y has to be 2 in that way. So now this Y has to come down here and over here. Yes, that's true. But now what? Ah, these 1 columns. I know one of these 2 is a wall, and one of these 2 is a wall, and that's everything for this whole column. Now this 5 row is done. And there's probably another row somewhere that got finished as a result of that. Well, this column's done. How about that? Now this row's done. This column's done. This X can't be allowed to touch a bomb, a monster. Oh, neither can this one, for that matter. Now the column is done. Got to do this column. None of these row clues actually look helpful right now. I think the issue is how to connect this group up to the rest of the horde. Right? Oh, nope, it's that this column is done. Great. Now this column is done. And this has to get out. So it was about connecting that group in the top right corner, eventually. Okay, so one of these is 1 and the other is 0, clearly. The 9s seem the most forceful here. Right? No. Well, yes, maybe. I thought for a moment that this 2 meant the Ys either had to or couldn't reach these monsters. But we could do this to have them reach none, or... Ah, no, it does work. There's no way to have neither of these monsters hit by a Y. I could do this, but then where do I put the other wall? I can put it here, but now this guy... Now the 2 Ys are different. So Y must be 1 and X is 0. I think this has to be a wall. Not that that's super exciting. But if it weren't a wall, it would be the only part of this column and this row that isn't wall, which is clearly impossible. And I think I can say the same thing here, right? Anytime 2 9s cross, if there's no clear way... No, anytime 2 9s cross, period, there has to be a wall. That's useful. Am I sure that's true in all cases? What if they were in like a corner? Yeah, that would have to be a wall. Okay, that's neat. Nice little lemma for me. Yeah, hang on. So, well, no. The six walls, but okay, I want to talk about the 4 non-walls, I guess. The 4 non-walls in this column must be contiguous. What's the alternative? Suppose I did like this. Then I would, of course, have to fill the rest with walls. And how do I get this 9 to be happy, right? I can only allow 1 gap, but there are 2 separate sections that have to get through. So the non-walls have to be contiguous. And there are 4 of them. So it could be these 4, or it could be all the way down to these 4, but it can't be any of these. These have to be walls. Likewise here, the 5 non-walls are contiguous. This is the only one I can rule out for sure, because it can't reach the X, but anything else could. Then what? At least one of the wall... There's only 2 walls in this row. One of them has to be in here. If it were here, that would be quite constraining on these 9s. It would mean one of them would have to open up on this row. Likewise, if it were here, of course. But that's not, like, proof. Maybe. Actually, wait. Maybe this is a slight proof. Well, no. I know it can't be both of these. Because then I'd have this and this, which is impossible. But it could be one of them, I think. Now, and I also can't say that, like, oh, if there's 5 contiguous non-walls, it has to go this way. That's the exit point, or this is the exit point. Because it could look like this, right? That's perfectly allowable. So I can't say that. It seems like connectivity is the important thing. These 9s are very constraining. We have to get from the right side to the left side, and from the top to the bottom to connect these groups up. And both of those, all 3 of those cross a barrier of 9s. Right? Clearly. Suppose we went down here. Is that possible? Like if I came out on this space. That might be tough. Well, not really. It would mean we'd have to connect up with this X below this line rather than above it. Because I can't cross it again. But that's not too hard. I mean, it looks for all the world like this is probably true, doesn't it? Wait, have I made a mistake already? What's going on in the middle? This is impossible. Huh? I can't fit 2 walls in here at all. So I thought I proved that y had to be 1. Because there's nowhere I could put the walls that would... But of course there is. I could just do this. I don't know, like, am I flying a kite? I'm super high? This is crazy. Of course y can't be 1. Or, well, it can be 0. I could do this. I don't know what I was thinking. And I believe it can't be 1, because we saw that now there's... Yeah, now this is just clearly impossible. There's no place to place 2 walls. So, in fact, y is 0, not 1. And the whole puzzle was wrong to begin with. Okay, maybe this will be more easy, because now I can do this and this very trivially. Yeah, this is a nicer start, I think. Like that. Yeah. Turns out if you don't start from a false premise, the puzzle is easier. Oh my god, so easy. So easy. I had X and Y backwards when that was just the easiest thing to start with. 2. So X plus Y plus Z must be 5, since twice that is 10. And they're distinct numbers. We can't have a 4, because that would be 0. 4 plus 0 plus 1. Oh, we totally could. We could have a 4. We can't have a 5. We'd need 2 other zeros. Suppose we didn't have a 4. Then I'd be in trouble, right? Because 3 plus 2 plus 1 is... Oh, no, then I could have 3 plus 2 plus 0. Yep, okay. So I have a 0, and either a 1-4 pair or a 2-3 pair. Can any of these guys reach 4? Only Z. No. This Z. Or this Y, but not this Y or this Z, and none of the X's. So there is no 4. So we have a 0, a 2, and a 3. X can't be 3. Either one of them could get 3, but they can't both get 3. They'd have to share this monster. Z can't be 3, because this guy couldn't reach. So Y is 3. And X and Z are 0 and 2. Well, Z can't be 2. Can only reach one monster. So Z is 0 and X is 2. Z is 0? Really? Okay. And X is 2, so we need these. Sure. This column is done. The last wall has to be one of these two, so it's not on the edge. The last wall has to be one of these two, so it's not on the edge. This column is done. The last wall is one of these two, so it's not on the edge. This row's done, probably has been for a while. This column is done, and so is this one. This one's done too. And this one. The Z has to get out, but not that far. This row is done. The X can't get to this. That finishes the row. This column's done, this row, and this row. No connectivity problems. Everyone's connected up, so we just have to do this. Isn't this some kind of deadly pattern? What's going on? Aren't there two solutions here? What have I got wrong? No, there aren't, because this Z has to get out. There we go. It's been a while since I've seen a big old pile of monsters like this. 9. Well, you've got them all already. In fact, all the bombs and monsters are assigned already. We can't allow any additional connectivity. Well, any additional line of sight between them. We must enforce connectivity, but reject line of sight. This wall can't be here. It has to be in this area. In fact, it has to be there, so these two don't blow each other up. I need a wall in here and a wall in here. It can't be this one. In fact, it can't be any of these because there's got to be a wall in here. Need a wall in this space, so it can't be down here. Is connecting these guys a problem, maybe? Doesn't seem that hard, but it's not totally guaranteed, I don't think. Like, if I did this, I'd be satisfying the rules of where to place walls, but these guys would be toast. So having to connect these guys is at least somewhat important to the puzzle. I'm just not sure it's the right next thing to think about. I mean, it might be. Ah, wait, hang on. So, I have to put a wall in one of these two and in one of these two. And in one of these two and in one of these two. So that's 4 total walls in this area. How many do the row clues say I can have in that area? 1, 2, 3, 5. No, one of them has to be here. 4. So, all the walls in these 8 cells make up the full budget of these row clues, except for the one like here that also has to be placed. Importantly, this can't be a wall, but I could have told you that because this column is done. Okay, well, I got it the hard way. There's a wall in here, so there isn't one here. This is a wall for the row, finally. So we've done the column. Now we got to do that. The 2 walls in these 2 rows Have I made a mistake? Something looks wrong. No, I think this, okay, never mind. I'm going to make a similar argument about this area that I made down here. And I was like, wait, but haven't I placed mines over here that weren't connected to these? But I think it was just the one here that I said I was going to have to place eventually. Well, you know what? This column's done, so that's the easy way. I hate when I do some cool logic and then I'm like, oh, I guess the column's just done, huh? So... There are two walls in this area, aren't there? I think. Because there are 4 in this whole area, total. We know there's 1 here, exactly. 1 here, exactly. That leaves 2. At most 1 here, but I guess these could both be... No, there could be 1... There could be none here. But that's... No. Because then there would be too few total. I need to place 4 with at most 1 in each row. So there's clearly exactly 1 in each row. So if there's 1 in this row, there can't be any here. So I got to do that. Okay. Now connectivity of these guys is going to start to matter. I can't have a diagonal like this. That cuts these guys off. A diagonal like this would be fine, I think. All right, I had to get a step away for a second to enjoy an allergy fit. What fun. Not like an EpiPen, but sneezing. Okay, so I was in the middle of connecting this up. So it does have to be diagonals, doesn't it? I guess not. Couldn't I do something like this? No, because then this would hit here. So, yeah. In this area, I have to make a checkerboard pattern. Well, no. In this area, I could do this, but then I'd have a problem down here. So each of these has to be a checkerboard pattern. And we showed that this checkerboard pattern is no good, so it has to be this one. And then up here, it seems like it shouldn't actually matter, but I must be wrong about that because there's always a unique logical solution. Right. Because I did this, this group is still stuck. If I had done it the other way, this group would be fine, but I couldn't do it because this group was stuck. I had to do it this way, and now this group is still in trouble, so it has to get out like that. Ooh, a capital A. I've been assuming these are lowercase before. The Y's look lowercase anyway. The X's and Z's, you couldn't really tell. Capital B? Have I seen B's before? I don't remember. Okay. This is crazy. This is like a system of equations of some kind? Sure. Well, x has to be 1. This fourth column does not permit any other solution. So y is 2. Which means b is 0. A must be 3 then. Okay, well that was easy. If I'd had to relate the variables to each other before I could solve any of them, it would have been much harder. But since x had to be 1, it got a lot simpler. Right, since the fourth column was how x relates to itself. Oh, right. I'm given all this. Ooh. These are cheeky little gems on the outside here. So they have to connect up to opposite sides, but I don't immediately see which one goes where. But they can't, for example, both go over this side. That would be crazy. Which means one of them has to pass through this 9 barrier, so the rest of this is all walls. Okay. Oh, and the same here, this 9. Yes, that should help. Maybe? This 3 is done, I guess. It's a little worrying that both of these escape to the right, but they have to just fill X. They just can't go all the way to the edge. They have to fill a lot of this space, I suppose. Now what? It's sort of difficult to stop these from touching each other, isn't it? And likewise this one, really. Ah, in here, there are 3 gems and 3 monster groups. So none of the monster groups that aren't already touching can touch. So I can't do that. I can't have an open space here or here. So this gem has to get to this group, and this gem has to get to this group. And there's only one wall in this row. It couldn't be as far left as either of these, because we'd have to duck down like here to get to the 2, and then we'd touch these groups. So these are not walls. This can't be a wall either, because we'd have to go like this. So this is the wall in that row. Likewise, we can't have any walls in this area, or this guy would be in trouble. Now we can do this and this. This column is done? Yes, yes. This 6... No. Oh, this row should be solvable. I have 5 walls, I need 6. Ta-da! I don't think I can quite... Oh, I can. I can say that these actually have to connect, because if there were a wall here, this entire bottom row would all have to be open except for this one wall. So these connect up, and that gives me this column. So, wait, could this be a wall? No, I'd have the same problem. These would have to both, it would have to wrap all the way around, which I can't do. So that's connected. And now, if there are 3 walls down here, it can't be these 2 and 1 in this area. You'd be trapped. It has to be these 3, and you go that way. Ah, stop! Don't be a dumb idiot. Once you got this, stop there. There you go. Now that should resolve the middle, I assume, somehow, right? We don't see 10s very often around these parts. What's even left? The whole puzzle's solved, isn't it? Surely not. I wonder what they want me to do with this. It's working out how to connect here to here, I guess? Or here to here, maybe. No, it has to be to here. I see. Because this monster doesn't have a gem yet. These 3s are sticking out a little. I don't know. What does that mean? Not allowed very many walls. And this has to peak up in 3 different areas. Yeah, I guess that's a point. Let's say I did this. Then at those points, this guy's path would have to be pinned to the top wall. And there would have to be... That would exactly have to match where the 3 walls in this row are in order to stop them from touching, I think. How could it be otherwise? Like, even, let's say I did this. Your path from here to here can't be including any of these tiles. You'd have to go along the top, so I'd have to do this. Yeah, okay. So that's interesting. And by the way, they already have 1 of these. So there's actually only 2 that would be... Oh, no. this is a wall cell. There are 3 non-wall cells that stick up. And at each of those, three walls. Three walls. Well, it can't be like this one and this one, right? Because then you'd be squeezed. So it definitely has to, at all the places where there's 3, there has to be a wall there. That's got to be true. So, what is constraining the 3? I guess by symmetry, it almost has to be these 3. I don't know why yet, but I think it has to. Because there's no other way that I could identify 3 specific cells that have to stick up here, right? Like, how could I ever prove it was these 3? They look the same from, like, every angle. Except, yeah. So I think that's true, but why? So let's say I did this, and can we confirm that this is right? It looks right to me. Yeah. But what would go wrong if I tried to do like these? Oh. No. That should be fine, right? Ah, I think I get it. This 3 is now having a problem. It needs one of these cells filled in, but I don't have any budget left anywhere. I guess, in a sense, any place where this 7 sticks up by, let's say, 1. Well, no, I don't know. I can't think of a good abstract reason why this is the case. I'll just be satisfied with saying, well, look, by symmetry, that's the only way it could be. What did I get wrong this time? It was looking good a minute ago. Oh, you and you. Oh, this is a problem now. Wait a minute. Okay, maybe nature is not buying my symmetry argument. So, but it has to be, right? If I do this, I can't do that. That's not possible. Because now this 3 and this 3 are competing. So I claimed that these have to be walls. Why did I claim that? Is it really true? I think so, because I'm going to just double check. Yes, everything I've marked here is forced by the clues. Okay, so this is the starting point of the puzzle. There have to be 2 of these, as I said, that are walls. Could it not include this one? It would look like this, and you would clearly have a problem. So that, I think, is true. And then I used that to argue, well, that must be where these 3s... But I guess... Shouldn't it look like this, actually, maybe? No. Well, it kind of has to. Because, okay, say we have these. How are we getting 3 into these columns? Is it like this? It's sort of hard to imagine, isn't it? We'd have to have at least this much, which would mean this. Oh, this is fine, actually. No, it's not. You're not connected up. But that doesn't mean this is impossible. Maybe I have one of these and one of these, something like that. Why couldn't that happen? It doesn't have to be so symmetrical. I only get one more wall here? Okay, well, I think so far all of this is true. But I don't know how to get these guys, these 3s, happy. This seems like a pretty free place to put a gap in 7's wall, doesn't it? In fact, it has to be, because this 2 has been done this whole time. Oh my god. Is it going to have been easy all along and I'm just stupid? I don't think it's easy. That's good. So if I did this, I'd have a very nice way to place, like, tuck a little thing in here. Maybe I could tuck the last one in like that, but then this 3 wouldn't be happy. No, this can't go in like that, so I think I'd need this. But I don't think I'm going to find that what's happening over here is actually correct. Yeah, I don't want to actually even, like, bifurcate that. I want to understand it. So, I could have this. I don't know. Stop these gems connecting. I need one wall here. And could the wall... Okay, here's a question. Could the only wall in this column be here? No, because this would have to get out and connect. So I can say that. Okay. Oh, no, I think I tried this already. I can't just say that this 3 row must be these 2 squares because these are the columns that want extra stuff. I don't think I can say that. Can I? Because then I'd have this, and there'd be too many places the 7 would have to pop up. Yeah, so that's not true. So at least one of these needs a wall. But I think we already showed it can't be both. So we have either this or this. Kind of interesting. I don't know which. Well, this looks like a problem, doesn't it? Because where is the 7 sticking up still? Can't be either of these cells. I guess this would have to come out like this. I could have something like that. No, now there's too many... Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't have enough walls to keep this blocked off. So I don't think it can be like this. I think it has to be this way. I need that marked off. I need that marked off. One of these, like a diagonal here or here. Or just this. No, that's not possible. I don't think this can be right. Like, you could connect that up. But now there's not enough walls in this row. Yeah, this is a tricky 3-row puzzle. How dare you? I miss those happy days when I thought I had solved it by figuring out that, of course, it has to be this. It's too bad it can't. Am I wrong about that? Could it still be this? Am I just foolish? Am I a great fool? It can't be this, because there's no place for the last wall on this row. You could try this and still connect up, but you'll end up touching this, won't you? Oh, maybe not. Right, but now there's no walls here, which means you need walls here, and then there's not enough. This 7 is over-satisfied. So where are the two walls in this row? I believe one of them is here or here, because it seems like these have to be diagonal. And the other one? Could it be here? If I did this? No, I can't get the 7 to go up. In the requisite 3 places, I don't think. Right. In a sense, this cell feels a little wasted. So maybe you have to do this? It's just crazy, right? Huh? No. Also, this column is stupid anyway. Oh my god. This might have to be the second puzzle I leave unsolved for a while. I don't understand how to connect these up. I know this. Okay, so these central 2s. Well, okay, even more than that. Every one of these columns has exactly one additional wall in it, right? Exactly. That's got to mean something. 2 of them here, 2 of them here, 4 of them here. Okay. And wherever I put the walls on the top, I can't put a wall also in the middle. That would create a barricade. What about walls on the bottom? What do they mean for the middle? Well, if I leave the middle open, I already proved this, I think. I could have been wrong, I suppose. But if the middle is open in any of these, on all of these, if I don't put something in the middle, I have to put something above. Because otherwise, these would connect, and that's disallowed. So anywhere I put a wall on the top forces a non-wall in the middle and a wall on the bottom. And anywhere I place a wall in the middle forces a non-wall above and a non-wall below? Because, oh, except these squares where I already have a wall below. Is that interesting? Placing a wall here doesn't impose an additional constraint on what goes below. Because let's say I erased these two. Then what I have in these 8 cells is 6 more walls here and 6 more non-walls here. And every non-wall here must be met with a wall below, right? Okay, I think I'm coming around to disproving an earlier assumption, or at least reaching a new contradiction. Every single wall in this row where I don't have a wall, there must be a wall below it. Is there some way that could be untrue? Some way that the path from here to here doesn't connect with like an open cell in the center? No, because if this cell is open, there's no path from here to here that doesn't pass through this cell. So anywhere that I have an X in the center must be connected to this, and therefore I can't allow it to connect here, which means I need a wall under it. So the 6 remaining non-walls here must correspond exactly to the 6 remaining walls here. Now, I thought for a while that that was impossible, but it seems like it is required. Okay, now let's go back to these 3 columns. I thought this has to be a wall. Is that still true? There are 2 more walls in this column. Could it be these 2? No. I couldn't get from here to here through this barrier. So of the 2 walls, they can't both be here, which means one of them is here. And since a wall here must correspond 1-to-1 to non-walls here, I can mark this, which means I can do this. And the same thing is true here. And I thought I proved that I couldn't do this, and therefore that I couldn't have these little gateways. But I think the point is that I can do something like this. I think that must be the idea I was missing. I got to here, said this is impossible, therefore the whole construction is impossible. But I believe this construction is possible and indeed required. I have just enough space to put all the walls in. And all the non-walls below. Okay. So having dismissed that configuration is what had me stuck on that puzzle, I think. And not realizing that the middle row had to correspond exactly and oppositely with the bottom row, which makes it much easier to try things. Okay. Glad I got through that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.